Lululemon stock just fell off a cliff and investors are panicking. Is this going to be a really good opportunity or the end of an era in the fashion industry? In this video, we're going to break down what the numbers are really telling us and whether big money or smart money should be buying this stock overall. Let's get right into it. So as you can see here, Lululemon is actually down 54% year to date. This is immense. They have had an insane run up in the past couple of years, but it seems that the fashion trend is actually not in their favor currently. And they've just been down and down and down from this full year. So Lululemon just announced their Q2 earnings, and here's what really went wrong. They grew the revenue by 6.8% year over year, which is pretty decent, I would say. But they missed the expectations by $40 million. While that is going to be in addition to their overall comp sales that are growing by 1%, but it's really important to note that the Americas comps, which is anything from North America, which is like your US plus Canada, fell 3% on a constant basis, following a 1% decline in Q1. That's pretty much a red flag because I think 50 to 60% of their revenue comes from North America. And that's really important to pick out here because they are growing internationally, like in China areas, but it seems that in areas of their national market or their dominant market, they are losing in terms of comp sales growth. You have other players come in like Athleta, like Viore, like Aloe. There's so much competition in this space now that I even see it when I go shop. And I see so many people going to these other stores and wearing these other brands. And it really makes me question, do people really like Lululemon anymore? And additionally, Lululemon's gross margin declined by 110 basis points to 58.5%. And this is likely just due to tariffs because a lot of their sourcing or supply chain might come from overseas, that tariffs could be hurting their margin overall. They might have to do more promotions, but it seems like tariffs in the fashion industry is going to hurt a lot of businesses that have a lot of outsourcing to Asia. So, still a high gross margin overall, 58.5%, but overall, that gross margin coming down isn't what investors really like to see, which you could see in the 18% drop after earnings. Now, again, international growth is good, but it might not be enough to kind of have faith in the entire business overall. We could see that international growth grew 20% year over year, and that's reaching about $767 million, with $392 million coming from mainland China, and the rest of the world will be about $374 million. You would think in China there's so many other substitutes and alternatives for the brand, but it seems that like when there is a strong brand within China, they buy a lot of the nicer things that are out there. If you look into data of iPhones and the colors of iPhones, the Chinese or the people from China are buying the newer things that come out. Like the titanium iPhone that comes out, just because it's new, there's so many people in China that want that product that will buy it because they have the money to. And you can't really count China out of the race. They will buy American products if they do please to. So that's something to really keep into mind here of like, oh, there might be a lot of dupes, but take it lightly because we do see that growth in international markets, specifically China as well. So China comps grows 16% while the rest of the world grew at 9%. That's actually really good because every single store in China is getting 16% more sales year over year, which means that there's a market that China is going towards Lululemon and they're capturing more of that Chinese market. Now, as the Investor's Compass takeaway says here, the Q2 report is weakening demand in America's product fatigue, tariff pressures. Meanwhile, international growth has been encouraging, but for now, it's kind of the deterioration of America seeping in. The stock is definitely cheap. We see it at very, very low double digit PEs, price to earnings ratios, and forward earnings ratios at about 13 at the time of this article writing. Now, that is combined with an oversold stock, which is basically saying we need something in order to happen, in order for us to believe that Lululemon will increase sales. Maybe we need a Gap to bring out a Cat's Eye. Maybe we need a American Eagle to bring out a Sydney Sweeney. Some kind of marketing campaign might work for Lululemon because I think the product itself should speak for itself because a lot of people, that we will get into this, they love Lululemon in the past, but they really see that quality start coming down. But if you get somebody to really vouch for it, somebody reputable, a lot of people might gravitate towards buying Lululemon leggings, buying Lululemon clothes, and just supporting the brand overall. So let's look into today's valuation metrics. There is a PE, the price earnings, of about 11 and a half. That's extremely, extremely cheap. But things are cheap for a reason, which has been the tariff risk, the comp stores risk, and given that they're not really growing in America. Forward PE of about 12 and a half. Very good. And the EV to EBITDA of 7. That's pretty good. You put your money into here in about 7 years, you'll probably get it back. Of course, this industry is very, very volatile, where fashion trends come in and out and ride this wave, and you never know which fashion is going to stay around for the next 10 or 20 years with so much competition in the space and so many new players getting introduced as well. So let's look at the metrics here. You're paying an 11.5 PE for a revenue growth of about 9-10% every single year. Wow, free cash flows of about $1.7 billion, though they've been decreasing their cash flow. But I'm curious to know, does that come from CapEx? Not really. So cash flows are decreasing, they're burning it in some kind of way, but they are buying back their shares. Given that this is a cheaper stock now to buy, it makes sense that executive might want to buy back their shares. It's so cheap, it's so low. If there's more initiatives that are going to come up for the company, then it makes sense to buy shares while they're cheap, give money back to shareholders, and grow the business overall. So let's look at this free cash flow valuation calculator here. If I say the company is going to grow at a 10% free cash flow growth every single year and buy back 1% of the shares, and by the time that I sell this company, it's going to be worth about, I don't know, 20 P or 20 price to free cash flow ratio, and I want a 10% return, then today's fair value is actually $202. And that's a 20% margin of safety that we're looking at here in order to own this stock. I really think that if they can get their comp sales in America back in order, then this company is going to see that higher highs of maybe $450 one day back to where they were before. So many people love and support Lululemon, and it makes sense to just own it and hold it because you love the product. But the thing is, I don't wear Lululemon every day, so let's see what people are saying about the product. I personally don't buy Lululemon because I buy like the Costco dupes, and the Costco dupes are out there. It's just that people either gravitate to it or they don't. But there's two different markets. There's me, somebody who wouldn't buy a Lululemon that's very expensive, and I'd buy like cheaper, good quality things from the Costco clothes section. And there's the other person that's going to buy higher ticket items that support the Lululemon brand and the lifestyle around it and the price tag that comes along with it with the quality. And let's get into that quality now. So, scrolling on Reddit now, this is where people are sharing all of their nice new leggings and clothes that they've just gotten. Why is there a car crash here? Okay. But people are just saying like they love the product. Oh, I love the combo. It seems that people love the colors that they come out with. And there's new colors every so often that get released that people just love. Like blue twill. I'm guessing that's a color. And this maroon kind of pants. This is some kind of combo that they're really liking. Overall, this jacket is actually pretty nice. I got this for my girlfriend. It was not cheap, like $100 something, $130. But it seems that she loves it and it's very comfortable. A lot of people have said the quality has gone down in Lululemon. Maybe 5 years ago, you would wash them over and over and you would never have holes. But nowadays, people are finding holes in their clothes. People are finding that the quality just isn't there anymore. And people are shifting towards Athleta, which is the Lulu alternatives. Somebody in the Lululemon subreddit saying, any Lulu alternatives? Like what can I buy except for Lulu? A lot of people say, I walked into a Lululemon store the other day and realized I was wearing all Athleta, and it felt like a sin. And I have so much Lulu over the past year, but really have gone into Athleta style, quality, and the fit. Plus, they have sales every so often and a membership point system where you can put towards your purchase. It's nominal, but still something. And by having this kind of reward system, I think it really rewards the people that shop there. If you look at Ulta's entire system, majority of their shoppers come from their rewards program and their loyalty system that they have there, to have those points, a reward system to bring you back into the store to get discounted goods in the future. And that's all about retention. In this fashion industry or any consumer product, how do you consume, or how do you retain the consumer, and how do you keep them wanting to keep shopping for you and supporting the brand and the lifestyle that you provide? So given that there's so many alternatives out there nowadays, it's very difficult to know whether Lululemon is going to be at the top or be at the bottom in the next 5 years. Personally, I think that Lululemon is going to stay around, because whenever I walk by a Lululemon in my area, it seems pretty busy. And I'll go on like a Saturday, so maybe it's biased because Saturdays are super busy. But even then, you'll see a lot of stores in a mall that just don't have any people. And you'll go to a Lululemon, you'll see 15, 20, sometimes 25 people on a busy day. And that's all I kind of need to know, that this company can kind of maintain the same amount of revenue every single year and just be stagnant. And at that bare minimum assumption, I think the company can still grow in international markets as well. It seems like there is somewhat of a moat around the company where people will support it due to like the Pilates yoga lifestyle that they have and that they like. But of course, that moat is very small and can be easily disrupted by a Nike, an Adidas, a Alo, Viore, Athleta. We've seen it all. So my 2 cents is, I think this company could grow back to where it was in the past, and it's just a matter of time. They need a catalyst. They need a marketing campaign that is going to get them these kind of sales that they would like. And with that, I think they will do well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know, do you guys own any Lulu stock? If you guys do, if you guys have thought about buying it, let me know. And let me know if you guys enjoy this video. Thanks so much. Peace out.